Hello grade 8 students, welcome to science class. Today I am going to explain you chapter number 11, force and pressure. Now what is force? So whenever we move a object, we either need to push that object or pull that object. So we can define force as a push or pull acting on a body is known as force, and the direction in which the body is pushed or pulled is called the direction of force. So the actions like picking, hitting, pushing, kicking, lifting, all these actions which we use in our daily activities, this all actions defines force. Right, this all action describes that a force is applied on a body and hence there is movement in that body. So either we need to move a body or we not need to stop the movement. Whatever the case is, but without force we cannot do any activity in our life. Right, in our day to day activities we use force at each and every moment. Now what is the cause of force? How can we apply force on another body? The main cause of force is interaction. When two objects come in contact with each other, when they interact with each other, then and then only force can be applied. So the main reason or cause of force is interaction. See, for example, over here, a man is standing behind the car. He is not in contact or he is not interacting with the car. Will he be able to push the car without interaction? No, he will not be able to push the car. But in the next figure, you can see he is in contact with the car. He is interacting with the car and hence he can apply force on the car for the movement. Okay, so whenever you want to apply force on any other object, their interaction is necessary. Interaction between the two objects is necessary. Then and then only force can be applied. Now, how can we measure force? The strength of force, it is called magnitude, right? And it is measured in unit called Newton. It is expressed in Newton. Now, how can we define 1 Newton force? So, we can define it as when a body of mass 1 kg is moved at a speed of 1 meter per second, it is known as 1 Newton force. Okay, so to measure force, we use the unit Newton. Now, besides magnitude, the direction of force is also necessary to be specified. हम किस दिशा में फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहे हैं वो देखना भी इतना ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है. Right, so the direction of force is also necessary because there are two types of we can say force which we apply on the body. Either we apply the force to move that body or we apply to the force to stop the movement of the body, right? So the direction of force is also necessary to be specified. Why? Because see, you can see the figure over here. If two boys are applying force in the same direction, then the net force applied will be sum of their forces. दोनों ने जितना फोर्स अप्लाई किया है उनका सम मतलब एडिशन, उतना amount of force will be applied on that object. But you can see in the second figure over here, if the force applied by both the people are in opposite direction, then the net force will be difference of their forces. मतलब वो बॉक्स कितना मूव करेगा that is difference of the force applied by both of them. Okay, and sometimes it happens that net force is zero. How does it happens? If the force applied in opposite direction is same, अगर ये दोनों ने same force apply किया है, then the box will not move. So the net force will be zero. दोनों का force सामने सामने nullify हो जाएगा. Now I give you one more example. For example, in tug of war, rope का movement कितना होगा? That is defined like net force कितना दिया गया है. ठीक है, दोनों टीम्स ने अगर सेम फोर्स अप्लाई किया है देन द रोप विल नॉट मूव. पर एक टीम ने ज़्यादा फोर्स अप्लाई किया है और एक ने कम किया है, देन द मूवमेंट ऑफ रोप विल बी डिफरेंस ऑफ देयर फोर्सेस. राइट, सो द नेट फोर्स is defined that whether the defined by the direction of force. फोर्स कौन सी दिशा में अप्लाई किया गया है उसके ऊपर नेट फोर्स डिपेंड करता है. If it is in the same direction, then sum of forces is used. If it is in the opposite direction, then difference of force is been counted. उतना मूवमेंट उस ऑब्जेक्ट का होगा. Right. Now let us see the effects of force. Force की effects क्या होती है? Right. Force can change the movement of any body. Like अगर कोई stationary body है, right, it's change the state of motion. Body का state of motion change हो सकता है by applying force. So the first type of movement, let us see, कोई body at rest है. It is a stationary body object, right? So by applying force on it, we can give movement to that object, right? Then the next type is we can stop a moving object, right? कोई भी object अगर movement में है, by applying force on it, we can stop its movement. For example, whenever you are playing cricket, तो fielder क्या करता है? It stops the movement of the ball, right? Ball जो in motion है उसका movement वो stop करता है. Next is force can change the speed of a moving object. It can either increase the speed or decrease the speed of the moving object, right? उसको जिस डायरेक्शन में मूवमेंट चालू है उसी डायरेक्शन में अगर फोर्स अप्लाई होगा तो उसकी स्पीड इंक्रीज होगी. बट इफ द फोर्स इज अप्लाइड इन ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन देन द स्पीड विल डिक्रीज. सो द फोर्स कैन चेंज द स्पीड ऑफ मूविंग ऑब्जेक्ट. नेक्स्ट इफेक्ट ऑफ फोर्स इज इट कैन चेंज द डायरेक्शन ऑफ मूविंग ऑब्जेक्ट. जिस डायरेक्शन में ऑब्जेक्ट मूव कर रहा है अगर बीच में से उसको फोर्स दिया जाता है, right, then that direction will be changed. Again we can take the example of cricket. बॉलर ने जिस डायरेक्शन में बॉल थ्रो किया है, जिस डायरेक्शन में बॉल की मूवमेंट है, बैट्समैन विल चेंज दैट मोशन, चेंज दैट डायरेक्शन. ठीक है, बैट्समैन जब वो बॉल को हिट करेगा ही विल अप्लाई फोर्स टू दैट बॉल and the direction of motion of that ball will be changed, right? Then the next effect of force is it changes the shape and size of the object. For example, we can take an example of spring. By pulling that spring from both the ends, the size of that spring will be changed, right? Then we can take the example of dough. अगर आपने डो बनाया है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल टू मेक चपातीस, by applying force on it you can change the shape of that dough, right? Then we can take the example of a potter. Potter pots कैसे बनाता है? By applying force he changes the shape and size both of that clay, He applies force on clay and he changes shape and size of the clay to form a pot. Okay, so in short, force can change the state of motion of any objects. So let us recall all the effects of force. First is force can move a stationary object. Second, force can stop a moving object. Third, force can change the speed of a moving object. Fourth, force can change the direction of a moving object. Fifth, force can change the shape and size of the object. Okay, so force can change the state of motion. Now let us see different types of force. So the main two categories in which we can divide the types of force is contact forces and non-contact forces. Now what do you mean by contact forces? Contact force means when any two objects come in contact with each other physically, like it touches one another to apply force, are known as contact forces. And these forces are further divided into two types, that is muscular force and frictional force. So let us continue this topic, that is types of force, in our next part of the video.